when I went to the newsagents, every single paper was full of one story, and I thought I'd be interested to hear both of your perspectives on it. So, yeah, this is the some of the front pages and inside pages. Actor and comedian Brand accused of rape and assault, accused Russell Brand, a sex predator who hid in plain sight. So there's so many stories about Russell Brand. There's a TV program last night, and the Sunday Times, which is that top right picture, have the whole thing on it. Every paper's full of it. What's your take on this story, John?
I think the best thing that I could say is an open mind. I have obviously where accusations of rape are concerned, they have to be taken seriously. But I am suspicious of the timing. Brand has a massive following. Is very much anti-establishment, and because I've seen so many people smeared in ways that carry a lot of credibility, apparently at face value. Arthur Scargill and Peter Heathfield about the alleged Russian gold and Libyan money that under examination fell apart, but the media did very, very good jobs of smearing them. You know, with George Galloway and the Iraq money. And let's not forget that Julian Assange was also accused of rape as a pretext to keep him in prison. So I'm loath to take take either side on this until it's been explored further. But I am very, very suspicious about the timing. There is an attempt to take anybody who speaks out about anything down now. Recently, you had Joe Rogan over vaccines, etc., etc. So I just think let's have a certain degree of skepticism, but let's not close the door on the allegations.
Yeah, Jackie, what do you think about this? I think you've been on social media talking about this a bit.
Yeah, it's been mad on social media about this. Well, first of all, I have no interest in defending Brand. I mean, he's like powerful enough, rich enough to do this for himself. And he doesn't have the kind of humor I would have. I don't like it. I find a lot of it disturbing, but that's not really the point. Neither am I going to have much time for people who are coming on social media calling these women liars. And I'm going to come back to that. But let's see who set this up. These are reporters from the Times. Now, I've had personal experience about reporters from the Times, because what actually happened to me is that they came and reported on something that I did at the Labour Party conference. And when I then contacted the woman, it was a woman actually, to correct her, like you would do if a story had been written, she blocked me. It was quite shocking. So we have, first it's a Murdoch paper, then people are saying, and it's all the establishment people are saying this, it's a meticulous, they're using this word, a meticulous piece of journalism. Well, you know, was the Dispatches in 2016 on Momentum, which was a hatchet job? How bloody meticulous was that? And was the Panorama programme about so-called anti-Semitism in Labour, was that meticulous? Interestingly, both of those programmes had the same producer, a guy called Neil Grant. So anybody who thinks that these documentaries just come from fresh air and don't have a political agenda, as they say, you need to give your head a bit of a wobble. I think also, I mean, Jim Royal pointed out that it's really interesting the difference in treatment by the media about rape. There's a Tory MP, isn't there, waiting with allegations of rape. And what about Prince Andrew and the whole rest of the, you know, Epstein and Mandelson and all that? They choose what rape they're horrified for. And just to finish this issue about the victim, I've been castigated for saying some of that, because apparently when people are victims or say they're victims, and I'm not undermining their claims, by the way. We are not supposed to discuss it. We're supposed to do, you know, the kind of horror, this must have been terrible response, and not discuss it. Well, actually, this is a twisting of the Macpherson theory about how you should treat victims. And this has been part of the problem with the whole anti-Semitism stuff. What Macpherson said was not that we should just say, well, if they said they were victims, they must have been victims. What it says is that we must listen to victims. But this shutting down of any discussion of the huge complexities of issues which are brought up by trial by media in this country, given the state of our media, is totally shocking.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've covered so much, both of you, in that. I mean, I don't really want to say more than I think that Russell Brand is definitely someone that is controversial and says stuff that people don't like, and I'm just inclined to think, why are they picking on him? They never said anything about Savile.
Yeah.
You know, the BBC, all over the BBC, are talking about it like there's something terrible about him. They've never made any acknowledgement that they harboured Jimmy Savile for all those years.
Also, I wish the media had paid as much attention to the Spy Cop scandals, where the state sent policemen in to actually rape women through, you know, through false identities, etc. That's had no mention hardly in the media. So again, I think I agree with Jackie that you know, we have to take this balanced look at it. That possibly is a political motive behind it, but there are also possibly victims involved, and as such, let's not jump into camps. People are already saying that the unfortunate thing is idiots like Andrew Tate jumped to his defence for obvious reasons. And then so anybody else who might want an open mind is classed as a right-wing conspiracy rapist apologist. So, you know, it's a no-win situation on this at the moment.